What's up? Welcome back to this evening's live stream. It's the same day, nothing's really changed. I got some footage that I gotta get inside of a project, so I'll be doing that until folks say something interesting worth my time. I'll say some other stuff later. I think I have a couple more clips I gotta pull off. So where's my other camera and mic? I gotta go get my mic and camera. Okay, gotta pull off some more footage, and I gotta copy it over, I think. Yo, what's up? How you doing? CPX projects. Okay, yeah, I did copy it over. All right, perfect. So I can delete this off my local machine. And it's going to be today, probably this clip. Yeah. Oh man, I just put my USB-C cable up. So I gotta go get it again. God dang it. Actually, no, I have one here. Haha, look at me. There's one on my desk. And that's today at 6, whatever that is. The time is off, so hopefully that doesn't cause issues when I try to sync these clips. Because I don't think there's a way for me to edit this EXIF data easily. Or it's not EXIF data, I'm sorry, this isn't EXIF data. Okay, so this is now complete. And I have some other clips on here from a while ago that I don't know if I ever pulled off. So maybe I'll do that now. Media, okay, I don't know what this is. Delete it. All right, 1/6/25. Okay, so we're good there. I can start pulling off the other footage from my other camera. You know, filming with multiple cameras, it could be a bit of a pain. All right, get the pocket 3. Today, 5:30. Okay, yeah, this is the last one. 3:33, 3:28 is the last one. I don't see 3:28. Okay, why is this not here? I have 2:52. All right, yeah, it looks like I was missing a clip. Oh no, it's okay. Never mind. It's there. I just can't read, apparently. I do know there's some other clips on here that I should probably pull off so I can format this card. There's a few, what was it, on December 15th? Yeah, I think this is the one, because I went to some restaurant. I went to the sandwich shop. This place right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new one. Oh wait, what is this? I've already forgotten what clips are supposed to be here. Oh, okay, this is like my, what was it? This is Apple Intelligence issues. So I'm gonna call it Apple Intelligence trash. And this could be lunch with Lashad. I may be going to a car show this weekend. If you all want to see footage of that or a video or something like that, let me know. I will bring the cameras and, you know, commit to not having fun and enjoying myself. I have a video that I need to do of the Gumbo Festival from a year ago, and I haven't done that yet. I need to do that soon. I think I've already pulled this footage off. Yeah, I pulled this footage off already.
I want you to go up.
It's really slow because it's transferring. I'm gonna just stop because it's stupidly slow right now.
It's better together.
Oh man, I forgot we went here. They didn't have what I wanted, so I'm gonna end up throwing it away. Plus, look at the noise, the graininess of this DJI inside of a building. I'm pretty sure I had an ND filter on. I probably took it off when I got in, hopefully, maybe. Let's see. No, I didn't. I just gave up and went to the sandwich shop instead. Okay. Oh, there is more to this. So I recorded on my computer as well. This is January 6th. So we're recording. I think it's both of these. Yeah. This is me trying to deal with this Apple Intelligence crap. It installed some models on my computer, taking up space. I had to record with my camera too because I had to boot into recovery mode several times in order to get this all working. Okay, yeah, these are all the same. So this goes under video for now. We'll make a new thing. Call it screen cap. Okay. I think these are all streams. And then I have my Copilot is trash. I don't know if I want to make that video right now. I'll do that another time. I think I have all of the footage that I need off of here, so I should be able to erase all of this. Hopefully, I'm gonna do it. It's probably gonna, hopefully I won't regret it. All right, let's eject. Okay, let's turn off the camera and let's confirm that I have all of my clips off of here so I can do the same thing. So I have clips from 1-6. Okay, we don't care about that. Yesterday and today. Okay, yeah, I can delete this. So erase. By the way, being able to right click or I guess command click if you don't have a mouse on your Mac. The latest version of Mac OS, they added this quality of life improvement, erase disk. This is, oh my gosh, I love this. Before I would have to go into disk utility or just open up the folder and Command A and Command delete and then Command Shift delete. Now I can just right click and erase disk and keeps the name. I don't have to rename it again. It's pretty dope. All right, let's turn down the music a little more so that we can get Final Cut started. And this, which one is the project? Pork Belly, okay. Yeah, let's look at some of the footage first before I get this project started. So I started yesterday. Okay, I'm glad I'm doing this, right? I can delete things that I don't need. That goes away. That looks like it's a clip that I should keep. That's probably something I should keep. But I'm just determining what I should keep based off the length of the video. That's it. So if it's a couple seconds, chances are it was an accidental recording. All right, I'm not going to be able to use the audio because of reasons.
Mike, say.
Yo, what are you up to? There we go.
All right. Okay. All right. So that's, I guess, good enough. Make sure these are good.
Mike's thinking.
Okay. Oh, cool. We'll do the same thing for this audio here. Okay. All right. Setting up Final Cut. I think I've already done what I need to do with this. I'm going to remove, whatever, I'll leave it for now. This will go inside of my new project, Pork Belly, and we'll just call it Pork Belly. And the way I import my clips is I do all of my heavy lifting in my file system. That way I can just come into here and then select these and import it by dragging. It automatically adds my labels, does all this grouping crap for me, which comes in handy. See all that? Now, one thing I'm not a fan of is that it's treating these differently. Like right here. Oh gosh, this is the wrong frame rate. God dang it. Oh no, never mind. This is slow motion. it's still the wrong frame rate. But what I can do is I can slow it down even more. I'll just slow it down by 20% or something like that, which is fine. There's no audio here. Oops, wait, what? Okay, all right, let's create a new project. We'll call it edit for now. Guess that's okay, considering that this is a pocket camera. That's decent enough. All right, this is going to be harder than I thought. Or is it? I had to sync these things. God dang it. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be difficult, but I am going to try something. I don't expect it to work, but you know, I should at least try. No, it's not going to, it's not going to happen. It's not happy. Let's get rid of dialogue from here. Why isn't that audio roll being removed? Oh gosh, did I just make it freeze? There should be a way for me to select all of these at once and change this. It's not letting me do that. I thought it was just clicking here. It's not working. I'm not going to do these one by one. That's what's not going to happen. What's up? Get started. Rub it. Obvious. Then blend this. 25. 3. Okay, so I think this clip has to be part of the other one. I'm going by times now. That's really all I can do. So I gotta get these organized by when they're created. 220. Ah, shit. And then the time is off. This makes life hard. 222, and this is 1127, so that can't be the same one. Oh my gosh, the time is off. What's up? No, that's not it.
Mic sync. Mic sync. Mic sync. Mic sync. Mic.
I wonder if this is even the right clip. $12.56, $12.57, $109, $112. Okay, I'm just gonna do these here. These, all of the ones that are in the same kind of time frame with one another. And then I want to find the same thing for the audio. So it's probably just this right here, this 25-minute clip. Wait, no, that's 2:20 a.m. This is 11:20. Now, I don't know if the time is ahead or behind. So I should look for something with a 56 in it or a 5 in it. There's a 56. I don't see anything with a 56 in it, so that's not going to work. All right, I think what I need to do is I need to figure out what time it is on my device right now, on my mic right now, so I can establish an offset. All right, so we'll just turn on the mic and do a test clip. Just a test recording to see what time it is on the mic. Look at that. Oh, I forgot to delete all these other ones. Okay. Yeah, I need to delete these other ones first. Because I don't know. Well, actually, maybe it'll just be 8:25. Maybe this is it. 25. Oh, no wonder the time is so far off. The time, oh my gosh, the minutes aren't the same. That's why this is difficult. But I should be able to find an offset. So this is 8:26 a.m. And I'm gonna wait. I gotta listen to it. Make sure this is indeed it. Yeah, 7:30. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it's that. So it's 8:25 a.m. on my microphone. Okay. And it's 6:56 or 6:55-ish. Okay, so that's 30 minutes. And then we go back 12 hours plus 2. So 14:30. About 14 hours and 30. So if I subtract 30 from all of these other ones, I should get back to the time that I need. So 30 minus here will give us to like 50 something. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah, this is 56. Perfect. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see if I can create a multicam clip of this. Just call it test for now. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, mama. Okay, where's that clip? Here we are. Did it actually? Okay, it did. And we can delete that. We'll rename this angle A1. And this is going to be audio. Or the mic. And this is DJI. Oh. Did I stop record? Okay, I did. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm going to keep this in a separate lane so that I don't lose this timing. And I'm assuming that this is the right timing. I hope it is. So we're going to call this, actually, I should be able to move this just by doing that. Right? Oops. There should be a way to get this clip up without me accidentally moving it to the side like I just did. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave it there for now. How about that? We'll call this DJI Pocket 3 1, and then this will be Pocket 3 2. And I'm only doing this so I can keep the time until I figure out how to do it where I don't have to do this dumb thing right here. I would prefer this to all be in one track because it's technically the same angle. Actually, it's not the same angle, but I can treat it as the same angle. Right, it's gonna be the mic. Okay, so I don't want that audio. I want this audio. Let's see, dialogue. It shouldn't be stereo. This should be mono. I don't know why is this coming in as stereo. Yo, what's up? Yeah. Hold on, give me a second. I haven't started talking all of the crap that I had planned to talk, but I've been dumping a bunch of stuff in the Discord. Give me a second. Let me open up a Zoom. I'm gonna turn on my screen just in case. I don't know where. Okay, all right, we're good. Like I don't know where this window is gonna open. I assume you're not in the Discord, so you can just text it to you. All right, so while this happens, let's add the color correction, which is just the LUT that they ship. Same for here. This is the Action Pocket 3. And this is also the Action Pocket 3, which we don't see right now. But if I open up the angle viewer right here, we should be able to see all the different angles. So there we go. Oh, you did? Oh, hold on, my bad. Hold on. I don't know why I'm not getting audio from Zoom. Oh, I know why. I turned down my system audio so it wouldn't scare the hell out of me. Because I have my headphones up really loud. All right. You should be here, maybe.
Okay, I think I need to leave your stream so I can hear things only once.
Oh, yeah.
Or am I doing things wrong?
No, you're fine.
I can't hear you at all anymore.
You should hear me through Zoom. In fact, I may need to turn on. No. Yeah, my audio is going through Zoom. It's working. It's you. It's not me.
Okay, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's probably my AirPods connecting to the wrong device again.
Yeah, this is why I have these wired headphones I told you about. They always work. Give me
How's
a second.
How's the video going?
It's going terribly because the time on my mic is wrong, which means that it makes it hard to sync stuff. So I have to do math. I have to think, and I don't like thinking.
Oh no.
All right, let me try to get this. My mouse is starting to lag. Does Zoom slow down your computer, or is it only just me? It didn't used to slow down my computer, but now it makes my computer very slow.
Do you have a lot of stuff open?
I always have a lot of stuff open.
I think that might be your problem.
I don't know. I always have stuff open.
I don't have like a crazy amount of stuff on at the same time, so I feel like that helps.
No,
I
got power. Look at it. I got 20 cores. I got memory. I'm not touching swap. Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's just Zoom because it didn't used to do that. It was after they made this new update. It looks nicer, but it makes my computer slow. Maybe it's Apple trying to convince me that I need to get this M4 Ultra when it comes out this year. All right, let me kind of close this up. Were you trying to see some of this pork belly stuff?
I'll let you struggle with the timing later.
That's messed up. All right, let me
on your own.
Let me put this up. All right. Open up Discord. Well, we just going through the list of things. What are we talking about?
Whatever you want to talk about. Do you want to plan your first TikTok / Instagram reels?
I posted to TikTok before. I got banned.
What did you post?
I posted me riding my motorcycle, and I got a some type of flag or something saying that like this content is like, I don't know what they said. It was something stupid, and I didn't open the app again because I only downloaded it and created an account to upload my video. I can show you the video that I uploaded. Give me a second. It's on YouTube and on Instagram. So I'm just like, how is it that TikTok doesn't do it? I thought they were owned by the Chinese. And they
I need to
care.
review your Instagram reels.
There's nothing bad on my Instagram reels.
Oh, it's basically everything you've posted on YouTube Shorts, right?
Kinda. It's just like my bike, really. Just that's it. You go look.
We want to see you giving life advice.
I am here. You can see me. That's me looking.
Yeah.
Set some goals. That's life advice. Set goals.
Oh shit. Okay.
Wait a minute.
That'll be good.
Here we are. Shorts. So this is the thing that no, it was this right here. I uploaded this to TikTok, and I don't know, something happened, but I don't understand why. And I didn't look into it because I was pissed off, and I don't like TikTok anyway. It's not like I actually consume it. So apparently I can't ride my motorcycle. Apparently I can't do that. That's the state of social media.
When did you try this?
A couple months ago. I have a special phone that I have for TikTok. It's not on my main phone. Give me a second. I use my developer phone for TikTok. I'm not even logged in anymore.
I've posted like 30 videos at this point, and I've never faced that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just like, there are people who post literal pornography on this thing, and here I am riding my bike, and right now it says content under review. Hold on, let me pull up QuickTime so you can look at it. One day it'll open. All right. All right, you see that? It says content under review. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really know how this stuff works.
Click on it.
Removed for violating community guidelines. It doesn't tell me which one. It's just like, yeah, you can't. So I said, screw it.
Test it a lot of the times. If you just say like, no, review the shit better, and they will, and they'll bring it back.
You know what I did?
Stop using it.
Yeah, I just stopped using it. I was like, screw it.
I'm shocked you have TikTok at all, and
Yanni told me to get it. I think you and Yanni were like, oh, you should have TikTok. So I installed it on this phone specifically, and it's not connected to my Wi-Fi network, which is important. There's no location. So I did the thing, and that's the result I got. So I was just like, man, y'all made me waste my time telling me to upload to TikTok, and they won't even let me do it.
Do you want to give me your like TikTok credentials so I can post on your behalf?
I can just add you to the 1Password account. I don't like that's how I share credentials. It's a thing. Don't worry. Like it's this is how we share all of our other stuff. I'll do it. I mean, do you want me to do that now? Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think one of our first reels can be, or TikToks, whatever. Like, what's one hot take / advice you have for people?
Why are you
right
trying
now?
to get me canceled? Actually, no, never mind. Trump is in office. I can't be canceled now. I can say what I want. Freedom of speech is back. You heard Mark Zuckerberg. He's like, freedom of speech is back on Facebook, baby. You heard that? Did you see that?
Yeah, and then he announced that he's like divorcing his wife, right?
Wait, seriously? Wait, he's divorcing his wife?
But it was a joke. It was a joke because it's something about like fact checking. Can't speak today.
I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, I would see it the other way. I'm like, why would you throw away half your money? All right, well, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he had a Jesus piece and everything. You see it? Hold on, let's see Mark Zuckerberg swag.
Where are you getting all this Mark news? I haven't really caught up.
He's in the culture now. You know, he's
Dude,
doing
he looks
stuff.
so cool now. Have you seen?
Yeah, he's doing like a personal rebrand.
Fashion.
Look at him. He got the gold chain on and everything, and talking about freedom of speech. I think did they get a new board member?
MMA something.
Yeah, Dana White.
Yeah, what's happening? How does Trump affect Facebook?
How does Trump affect? It's all of these policies that have been in place.
So what can you share with us what Trump is
It's
implementing?
more of a cultural thing. Over the past, I don't know, maybe like 8 years or so, maybe longer. I noticed a shift in 2008 when Barack Obama was brought in. We did a big shift to identity politics, where instead of focusing on your capability and what you can do, we instead focus on what you look like. And all of these organizations, and it's a cultural thing. It's not necessarily legal, but it was driven by investment dollars, where not certain companies couldn't get investment unless they hit certain DEI initiative like quotas. There is this thing called stakeholder capitalism. So that's this whole thing. Have you heard of that? Stakeholder capitalism?
No, can you explain it?
Not really. It's other than communism. It's communism under a new name. That's how I look at it. Let's see, capitalism. All right. Well, let's see what Investopedia has to say. Stakeholder capitalism, make it bigger, is a system in which corporations are oriented to serve the interests of all stakeholders. Among the key stakeholders are customers, suppliers, employees, shareholders, and local communities. Under this system, a company's purpose is to create long-term value and not to maximize profits and enhance shareholder value at the cost of other stakeholder groups. Supporters of stakeholder capitalism believe that serving the interests of all stakeholders as opposed to only the shareholders is essential to the long-term success of any business. Notably, they make the case for stakeholder capitalism being a sensible business decision in addition to being an ethical choice. So it's this idea that, like, let's say that you start a business in your community, right? According to stakeholder capitalism, the community has a stake and a right to dictate what direction your business goes, even though they may not own any equity in your business. Right. So like, think about, you start your business, you put 25K up, 2 years from now, you're making some cash. And then some other folks who are in your community are saying, oh, you need to do business this way. You need to think about these other people instead of thinking about your customers or thinking about the people who've actually invested in your company, whether that be you or your investors. It's one of these things where it sounds good when you read the book. I think I have the book actually. I don't know if it's in the Kindle. Let me see if I have it in Kindle. But it's like one of these things where when you read it, you're like, oh yeah, I kind of agree with that. But when you really dig into it, not really. Let me see if I have that book. Give me a second. It may not be on my Kindle. It could be in Apple Books or one of the other places that I have books. Give me a second. Oh no, here it is. Yeah. Oh shit, I have it. Here we go. Right here, by Klaus Schwab. Do you know who that is?
Claude?
Klaus Schwab. You know who that is? Klaus, like Klaus.
Klaus?
Yeah, Klaus Schwab.
I know the last name.
Yeah, you know the last name. What does it remind you of?
Bank.
Which bank? All right, here. Let's do.
I thought it was Charles.
Yeah. It's the same name, so it's something. Here's Klaus Schwab.
No one says Klaus.
How do you say it?
Well, we say Charles Schwab.
But okay, well, his name is Klaus. Here is his claim to fame. Have you heard of this?
Mechanical engineer and economist, founder of the WEF. Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you will own nothing and be happy. That guy. So we have this new ideology, created by this multi-billionaire dude who owns everything, essentially, who is actually who wants to create this extrajudicial agency to control the world. And here's his book. And yes, I have the book. I had to pay for it. I bought it and read it because I believe that I should know the things that other people think, even if I don't agree with it. Now, again, reading it, it's like, yeah, you kind of, if you're not critically thinking, you'll be like, yeah, this sounds good. Of course, yeah, this is great. But You really think about it critically, it's like, nah, this is communism. That's what it is. It's communism. Who are the stakeholders? It's almost like he's defining a new class. There's stakeholders, and then there are the people who own the means of production. That sounds like the bourgeois and the proletariat. That's what that sounds like to me. There are only two groups. But yeah, you should maybe check it out.
Oh, you're not focused on profit. You're focused on everyone being happy or something? What is that defined by?
Let's see. Let's read more. Let's see key takeaways. Oh, yeah, what's up, Jim? How you doing? Stakeholder capitalism proposes that corporations should serve the interests of all stakeholders, not just stakeholders. Stakeholders can include investors, owners, employees, vendors, customers, and the general public at large. This is it. And the general public, really. The focus is on long-term value creation, not merely enhancing shareholder value. Historically, considering all stakeholders was the norm in the US until Milton Friedman argued that corporate executives are only beholden to shareholders. Supporters of stakeholder capitalism today believe this priority on all entities should replace shareholder primacy. My interpretation of that is, if I put money into a business in order to, for it to grow, I actually have skin in the game. What this is saying is that, hey, you shouldn't be the primary, I guess, beneficiary, or you shouldn't have as much of a say as these other stakeholders, or maybe these other stakeholders should be able to have a say equal or even greater than my say, which is kind of crazy because, if we look at property rights, I gave my money. So it's like, it's technically part of my property, right? I purchased equity into this company. And now I have, this person from the WEF telling me that I have to take into account what other people who have no skin in the game have to say about what I'm doing in my life. That goes that's counter to the pursuit of happiness, in my opinion, because that's the state, because that's the only way you can enforce this, is that's the state saying what you can and can't do.
Okay, wait, let's take this in the analogy of like a lemonade stand. So in the current capitalism society, you just worry about profits, and maybe in the way of that, you cut down a few neighbors' trees because they're full of lemons, or you deplete like your local grocery store of all the lemons, but you're making a lot of money, so it's okay. So what does it look like in stakeholder capitalism?
Well, I want to first say that if we have capitalism, what will really happen is we have property rights in our country, right? So like capitalism can't erode on our rights, right? So if you have lemons in your yard, I can't just go into your yard and take your lemons, even if I may want to, because, well, it's your property. So like I wouldn't be able to do it. Under stakeholder capitalism.
Sorry, let's assume they're all my lemons, but I'm buying a lot of lemons, and I'm buying all of the lemons in my vicinity, but I'm making a lot of money off of lemonade, so I just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that change when it comes to a stakeholder capitalism?
To be honest, I don't know, because it's a theory. We've not seen it. The closest we've gotten to it is these DEI hiring practices that we've had, where you've heard equity, like we need equity, all this crap. Like this is the closest. Equity is coming from that. We haven't actually gotten to the whole doing exactly what he's saying in the book. He's arguing for that, and they were putting a lot of money to try to push humanity into that direction, but there seems to be a lot of pushback against it. So I don't know if we'd ever know what it would actually look like. But we can guess. We can think about it, I guess.
We can guess. So like, I'm super incentivized to keep making money because I get to keep all the money. But say like I start to hire some people, and say like, let's pretend I hire you, but then I keep most of the profits. And so I kind of like ran the scenario through Claude, and it was like, in your stakeholder capitalism, you think about everyone, your lemon stand effect. So you would consider your customers, but you also consider all your helpers. And so you have to treat them nicely and pay them fairly. Your neighbors, like you don't want to make too much noise.
Ask it to define what fairly means. Because is that pari passu? Is that fair? Because I mean, I think that's fair. So like you get paid out pari passu what you put in, right? So
Let's just say it's whatever you think is fair right now. Like maybe that means we split it. Um,
equally.
and then
Okay.
sure. And then
I'm
another
curious.
consideration is the environment. So you want to not waste water and use recyclable cups. And then your community is also another factor. So like everyone profits somehow by like when you like donate to them. But then like if everyone benefits from this, what's the incentive to keep it going? Versus like your profits as an owner is like so much less. Um,
Well, all right. So
it's just like hard to
I
imagine.
wanna move away from profits and instead go towards risk, because that's also inherent in a business. But it seems like most people who've never ran a business, they only look at profit. They don't look at the other side, which is risk. Who assumes the risk in this scenario? Is it the employee who gets a steady paycheck, who can leave whenever he wants or she wants? Is it the employee who's taking the risk?
Yeah, no one wants to take the risk.
Well, I mean, but someone has to take the risk. So someone is taking that risk, and who's bearing that? Who's bearing that risk? Is it?
I guess the existence of this lemonade stand.
Yeah, it's the
But
person who owns it. That's the person
yeah.
who assumes all the risk, which is that's part of the problem. Is that, you know, we want to socialize all of the gains, but when it comes to the losses, no. Like we don't want those. That's your responsibility to bear, and that's kind of a big issue. You cannot have. I don't think that you can have a functional economy that operates that way. Give me a second. Jimmy, are you on a call watching a video? I am talking. Yeah, I'm on a call, on a Zoom call. All right, sorry about that.
Wait, can they hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you. They just can't see you unless you want to be seen. It would take,
No, that's all
honestly,
good.
I can't do it now. I would have to create a new scene, and in the future. How about that? In the future.
Sure.
Yeah, all they can do is hear you right now. But yeah, let's go on with your thought experiment. Or do you want to share your screen? And if you do, make sure you only share the thing that you're looking at, or move stuff
No,
to other
I
things.
don't have anything to share really.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to read more of this crap here? See what they have to say.
So what were you trying to convey about stakeholder capitalism? Is it like what we're inching towards? Like, is it possible? Is it something that people are promoting?
Yeah, it was something that it's the new agenda. It's part of the globalist agenda. I think it's dead now, though. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. Let's read this in practice, because they have this, this little section, and then there's criticism, and then we can maybe go line by line or point by point and see what we agree or disagree with.
I'm seeing fair wages, and the first question I'm thinking is, what is fair? And
well, yeah, that's what I
rubbing
asked.
off
It's
on
like,
me too
what
much.
is fair? Well, it's not. It's just you have to ask. Like, these words have meaning. What is fair? Is it fair for me to to put up $200K of my own money that I worked my ass off for to start this thing, and then I hire you? I had to pay you. I had to pay payroll tax for your labor. I had to pay for your benefits. And what do I get in return? Well, I get your labor. I get your half-ass labor, I guess, for like 4 to 6 hours a day, right? That's really all I get. Now, let's say that this business fails. Well, this business is my life. You, on the other hand, like, this business is just a job for you. So what's fair? Right? Like, is it fair that you should earn the same amount of money as me? Like, when you didn't put any of the risk in? I don't think so, but some people do. And what I found is that the people who think that's fair are the people who, I'm gonna just say, they're the losers. Generally, it's only losers who are saying, oh, we should do these things. It's like, if you actually had your own stuff, you would not appreciate someone coming to you telling you, hey, you know what you worked extra hard for? Nah, you don't have any claim to that. You need to think about these other people first and give it to them. Like, it just doesn't work. And when you do that, the incentive becomes, well, I just won't do anything, because, well, they probably will just move. That's probably what will likely happen. Because I imagine if someone told you, Ellie, that, hey, you know what, the money that you make, you're not entitled to that. You got to think about other people. How long are you going to continue working as hard as you work? And then,
It's
all right,
not
so
worth it.
we have the second thing, reducing the CEO worker pay ratio. I agree with this. I think that this is actually, I do think that this is something that we should strive for. I'm not saying that employees should be paid equally to CEOs, but the current disparity is too much. I think on average, it's like 400, it's over 400 right now, I think, CEO pay versus employee.
This is an actual ratio.
Yes, it's 290 to 1.
Wow.
And this is a few years ago. And to put this in perspective, the average CEO will make more than the average person will make in a year in 3 days. That's the ratio. If you put it in time, like, you're going to work the rest of the year, Ellie. Someone has already made your salary in a couple of days. So that part I agree with. Like, we should do something to make sure that this ratio isn't, what it is now, almost 300. Maybe is 50 times enough, right? I think 50x is enough. At a certain point, it just becomes greed. Okay, here's the second one, ensuring safety in the workplace. Again, I agree, right? Like, this is what I mean by when you just read it at surface level, it's like, yeah, these are good ideas, but it's a Trojan horse, because in the mix of these good ideas, it's some incredibly bad ideas. Lobbying for higher tax rates and avoiding tax loopholes. So here's the thing. The only people who end up paying more taxes are the middle class. So, like, why is a billionaire talking about lobbying for higher tax rates? If he really gave a shit, he would just pay more taxes, because there is no law saying that you can overpay. So what he's really saying is that, if you're not rich enough to hire accountants to know all of these loopholes, you're going to pay more in tax. Let me change this music. It's repeating. It's annoying me now. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. we have comments. Let me pull them up. I don't think, well, you'll have to see it on the stream, and you mute the stream. I'll read it though. Well, for small business owners, sure, that business is probably their life. I don't think that's the same for a new venture from Musk or Mark Andreessen or something. Also, these things don't happen in a vacuum. If Dubai becomes a better option for people, then they'll move. Dubai is a placeholder. Oh yeah, I get it. Bezos makes $9,000 a second. Crazy value he's been able to create. Rich borrow against assets and never pay tax. Exactly, yeah. Because you get to deduct interest. And whenever, that's on a mortgage, I'm sorry. When you get a mortgage, you deduct interest. But when you take out a loan, you don't pay tax because it's not income. Remember how it's like, I have a personal loan? That's one of my tricks. It's like, other people do it, so I'm gonna do it too. Do you have any questions about Jimmy's points, or you want to keep going?
Where are they posted? I want to read it again.
They are on YouTube in the live stream chat.
Also, I want to introduce Jimmy to us.
What do you mean?
If he's comfortable.
He's one of the he comes in the stream often. He's in the Discord.
Oh, cool. Hi, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's one of the folks. Casual Economist is another person who's here fairly often. Cruz is here fairly often. Kyle comes in whenever he can, but he's also just in the Discord and doing other stuff. I don't know. My mom might be here still. Who knows? Mama, you here? If she says yes, then my mom is here as well. Let's see here. Providing good customer service. I agree with that. We should absolutely do that. Engaging in honest marketing practices. Agreed. But here's the thing. He owns a lot of companies and they can be doing that already. How come he isn't already doing that? Why does he have to write a book? Let's go to the last one. Preventing environmental damage. Again, I agree with that. All right, we have Darius. He's saying the income inequality in the U.S. is in opinion is staggering compared to Scandinavia, where wealth is more evenly distributed. I'm gonna push back on that, Darius. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. That's straight up a fact. That's you just look at the two ratios. Our ratio is much larger. That's not an opinion. Okay, here's some more stuff. There's no defined set of expectations for companies that make such a commitment. However, Just Capital, an independent research nonprofit, surveyed 4,000 Americans on what the issues they believe U.S. companies should prioritize most. The top priorities of corporations, according to the respondents, should be paying a fair wage, acting ethically at the leadership level, paying a living wage, providing benefits and work-life balance, providing equal opportunity, and making beneficial products. I agree with literally everything that's in that sentence. There's nothing I disagree with. It's just that when you read the book and you get into a lot of the points and you start to really critically think about some of the points that they're making, it's like, maybe not. All right, let's see criticism.
Interesting.
Okay.
Why does a book become so controversial?
Because of the ideas. It's not the book that's really the controversial thing. It's the ideas.
Like the specific ideas for which, like, it would look like if it was in practice.
Yeah, or what it would mean for you. Like, you would have to give up certain things in your life because we're saying that, stakeholders should have a say, which means that you necessarily have to give up some of your power. Like, I don't know what power you have right now, but let's say you had some power, right? You'd have to give up some of your power to others. And
how can they force us to do that?
With guns. That's how they currently force everyone. Right now, we've been doing it with economic pressure, with financial pressure. But when that doesn't work, we have social pressure, which, has been quite strong.
Also, not really. Like, all these companies are manufacturing things that are so harmful to not just the environment, but to the consumers themselves, and they're not getting penalized in any way.
Yes, and we have an issue, which is part of the scary thing about it, is that he's coming with a solution. I'm not going to disagree with it. It's just a bad one. Like, he's coming with a solution. And what makes it a problem is that, we have the problems to begin with. So it's easy to think that any change will be better. But I don't think a lot of people think that through. Like, think about all the folks who are talking about destroy what we have here in America. Like, we need to destroy America and replace it with what? That's the part that no one really asks. It's like they don't think about that. They're in their imagination, it seems like they think that if you destroy or tear down something, that it necessarily will be replaced with something better. However, history, if you read some of the books that exist, history proves otherwise. And the best predictor of the future is the past. So while, it could work, there have been no other examples in history that have. So
yeah, because I think human greed always takes over at some point. Like, someone's gonna be greedy. Someone's gonna have more power over someone else.
Yes, and hierarchy is natural in human society. I think we should just have constraints on certain things about that hierarchy. I don't think that we should try to seek to eliminate it, because we need hierarchy. And we have a question. Why do we care about comparing our stats to Scandinavia? Because we exist on the same Earth, right? Like, I don't know if you've traveled or not, but it's on Earth. You can hop on a plane, fly for a few hours, you'll land there. It's incredibly important to compare yourself with others to know how you're doing. That's how we know how we're doing. The reason why we say America is the greatest country on Earth is because we're comparing it to other countries. If no other countries existed, that statement would be meaningless. It wouldn't even have a reason to say it, right? So that's why we have to compare ourselves with other countries, because if we don't, we may think that we're doing great, and in reality, we're not. So it's kind of like, why do we compare stats of a state to another state, or schools to another school? Well, it's because we establish hierarchy naturally. So that's what we do.
Why do they call this stakeholder capitalism if it's basically communism?
Why would you call it communism? People would reject it outright. You have to sneak it in. It has to be a Trojan horse. Are there any
differences?
Yeah, there are differences. Okay. Yeah. It's not. I don't want to lead you to believe that it is communism or socialism. It's not. I just think that it can only lead to that. I hope that makes sense, right? I think it can only lead to that, because what's really happening is we're taking power and we're distributing it even more, which is another way of saying divide and conquer. That's how I look at it. Why can't being greedy be a good thing? When you want something bad enough, provide value to get it. That's part of that's one of the core tenets of capitalism. It's that greed is not necessarily bad so long as you can align, the incentives properly, right? So if I can be greedy and the result of my greed is I produce a lot of things that improve the society around me, then it's a net positive. However, I think that there is a thing as being too greedy, where let's say you have every resource and like now it's just you or a few of you, like an oligarchy, like we currently have in our country.
Or it's like greed plus like disregard for others.
Yes. Which, I think that's the only way that you can be extremely greedy is to completely not care about anyone else. I mean, logically, that's how I think about it, but that may not be true. But yeah, that's you should check out the book. Even if you don't agree with the principles, there will be some things in there you will agree with. I'm pretty positive of it because I found things that I agree with in the book.
Interesting to know that we're going in that direction.
I don't know if we are anymore. Now,
wait, who did someone say like they were trying to like? Did you tie it to like Trump's administration?
Yes, a cultural shift, but also this right here. Give me a second. DEI. So let me go to the report. You've heard of Vanguard, I'm sure, right? Like they're one of the largest like funds, 7.8 trillion. My God, they're bigger than most nations. So let's say that you are the owner of this fund here, and you decide that you want to have some specific agenda met, and you're like, you know what, I want there to be 100% representation, across the board. So like if there's 13% black people in America, every corporation, every business needs to have 13% of their employees be black. Well, if you have enough money, you can really influence a lot of things from the top down. For one, you have all these large NGOs that you can influence, the non-governmental agencies. But you also have, through investment, through money, through the stock market, you have sway, right? Like if you become one of the larger shareholders in a company, you get you get voting rights that, when you in the meetings, your vote counts for a lot. So you can push for what you want. And that's kind of what was happening here. So we had a few people who were very rich talking about, oh, we need these things for these people, which is interesting because a lot of these people are rich and they don't experience our problems. So they're saying we need to do these things, and they are using their resources to drive that change. And the only reason they can drive that change is because they've accumulated enough resources to do it, meaning that they're wealthy. So it's not, people like me and you, grassroots, who are saying this is what we want. This is coming top down. This is from some international dude saying this is the world that I want, and I'm going to use my resources to make it that way. Screw what all the rest of you think. You all just need to go and get re-educated.
And they do succeed.
Yeah. So if you, I used to look at these things a little bit more. I stopped looking because it pissed me off. But if you look at here, you can kind of see how they were, how they were making this agenda come to fruition. And it's through a lot of these little, they're not little, I'm sorry. It's through a lot of these, these like wealth funds, these wealth management, capital management type funds where they just have all of these resources. And I'm not just saying money, right? They have capital. Capital is not money, for those who don't know. It's the things that you need to produce things. So they have all the capital, they have the money, they have the resources through human resources. They have the labor, they have the technology, they have the government backing, they have everything that we don't have. That's why I'm like, it kind of goes against the pursuit of happiness, and it goes against one of our inalienable rights. One person shouldn't get to have a say over what I do in my life. So long as I'm not doing anything illegal.
How can they, at scale, make it better for each and every one of us?
how can they make it better?
Yeah, because that's what they're trying to
I
do,
don't think they
right?
can. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they can. I fundamentally
Okay.
disagree with that.
So Vanguard is trying to make
I
more
wouldn't say they were
society.
trying. They succeeded. Like think about
Oh.
the vaccine that some people didn't take, and think about how they coerced certain people to do it. They said if you don't do this, you'll lose your job. Well, most people need their job, so that's economic
That's true.
coercion. People didn't get it because they wanted to. They got it because they felt like they had no choice. Now they did have a choice. They just weren't willing to accept the consequences that came with that choice.
Yeah. So there'll be more of that.
I don't know if it's going to be more of that. I think with Trump, it was what do you call that? A symbolic win, and it seems like the culture has shifted. And what I mean by that is like think about like I don't think that if Kamala had won, I don't think that Mark Zuckerberg would be talking about there's going to be freedom of speech on Facebook now. I don't think that would have happened. You know, I don't think we'd be looking at what's happening in California with the level of scrutiny that we are. Like, you know, they in LA they decided that it was more important to have a LGBTQ plus whatever, I don't know, whatever alphabet people, right? Like they thought it would be better to have that and have women versus to have people who are competent and who can do the job. Right now, like think about it, right? Like this fire that's happening right now. Do you think that fire gives a fuck what you identify as? A real question. That's not rhetorical, dude. Do you think the fire cares what you identify as?
Of course not.
So why are we using that as a way to say, you know what, you're qualified for the job or not? That's a problem, right? And I think we're going to start to see the consequences of it, like of hiring incompetent people or people who don't have the capability to do the job. When shit hits the fan, well, you know, everyone's caught ass out. You've gotten rid of the people who can do the job, or you've alienated them, or you've made them upset, or whatever. They've gone on to other industries. Now you have to rebuild, but that's hard to do because a lot of skills is tacit, right? It's skills that you gain by doing it on the job around others who know what they're doing. But what happens when all the people who know what they're doing go, and you're left with all the people who were brought in because they check a certain DEI box? And it's harmful in other ways too. Like, for instance, me, I went to college, and some people think that the only reason why I was able to get into college is because of affirmative action, which is crazy because I mean, my SAT score, it was in the top 98th percentile in the United States. But apparently the only reason why I can get into school is because of affirmative action. So it's like, if you have these programs that favor people just because of their skin color or their ethnicity or their religious affiliation or what they think they identify as, like if you start to prioritize that, other people are going to become resentful, and that's something that you can't control. That's human nature. If you treat someone, you know, a certain way that's deemed unfair, and let's be real, it's not fair, then other people will resent the group who seems to be getting the preferential treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So it leads to these dangerous things that, you know, if people just apply a little bit of critical thinking, they may arrive to that conclusion fairly quickly that, hey, if you single out these other people who don't necessarily do the job as well, and you give them the opportunity, and you say these other people can't do it, and you go worse. You pour salt in the wound, and you say, not only that, but you're evil and you deserve this, and you should want these other, like when you start to do that, you create resentment. And as a minority, and I don't consider, like, I know in America, like black is like all of us, but like African American is distinct group from African, right? So as a minority, I do not want to live in a country where most of the population resents me. And it's not just majority, it's also the other minorities, right? Like, you know, just because the majority may not like you doesn't mean that the other minorities will either. So it's these types of things that I wish people understood the dangers of it. The problem is that they don't care. They just want what they want. You know, everyone else be damned. And you kind of see it in behavior when certain people travel to certain places and how they behave. You can tell that they're not thinking of the fact that they represent the place where they're coming from. All right, let me go to the other thing. How did we even get on stakeholder capitalism? I thought we were supposed to look at something else. What were we looking at? How did I get on that? I'm not seeing it. All right, well, I'm about to scroll up.
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Freedom of speech stuff?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm curious. What do you think of this switching up? What do you think of the H-1B issue in the tech space? This affects you too, by the way, since you work in tech.
What's happening?
You don't know about the H-1B debate happening right now?
Can you enlighten me?
Yes. Certain tech oligarchs seem to think that Americans are not qualified and lack the skills to do the jobs that need to be done here in America. And they are arguing that they have to hire people from overseas to fill in for these jobs that normal Americans can't do. So that's kind of, they're saying that you're incompetent. You are incompetent, and that they need to go and hire someone else who is competent to come over here and do your job for less money. That's how I'm saying it. That's my interpretation of it. Of course, they won't use those words. But
what is actually happening? Like,
Elon Musk brought this up. What? Oh, actually, here, let's do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring up the video, but let's watch the video. I got it. It's in the Discord.
Winning an election is easy. Actually, governing is a much more difficult thing.
You can't hear this, can you?
But universal lesson of all presidencies.
It's very quiet.
All right, let me see if I can share my audio. If my stream dies, so be it. Let's try to share this and share with the audio. Share sound. Okay. The stream can still hear me. All right, let's see if I can still hear this.
Party system.
Oh, yeah.
Disparate coalitions come together to dream before an election. And inevitably...
I'm going to speed it up because it's hard for me to listen to stuff like slow. I'm only going to go 1.2x since y'all are here.
Then somebody is disappointed when actual decisions have to happen.
That's what I use, but I'm also I'm engaging in stakeholder capitalism, you know. Actually, that's a lot. I'm doing this for the audience, so some of them may not be used to hearing stuff at one. I normally listen to stuff at 2x, so I'm like 1.5x is a compromise.
Between 1998 and
winning an election is easy. Actually, governing is a much more difficult thing. It's a trite but universal lesson of all presidencies where in our two-party system, disparate coalitions come together to dream before an election. And inevitably, then somebody is disappointed when actual decisions have to happen. As usual with administrations, especially with one as loosely defined as...
Oh, wait a minute. Jimmy says that 2 weeks ago, this blew up when Trump appointed Indians as the head of FBI and AI, and peeps went nuclear. Did he appoint Indians or were they American? Like, which one is it? Because India is a nationality. Do they have Indian passports? Or do they have American passports?
Donald Trump's. The knife fights start early, and sometimes even on Christmas. I'm referring, of course, to the massive MAGA civil war that has taken place over the Christmas holidays that began with the critique over H-1B visas, then a tech right versus MAGA right fight about who really is in power, and then a racist versus globalist fight over who's really an American, and it ended with one of the most extraordinary posts I've ever seen from Vivek Ramaswamy. It basically said, white people are lazy. So let's start with a roadmap, and let's go from the beginning. Things got kicked off when, full disclosure, a personal friend of mine, Sriram Krishnan, he was appointed by Donald Trump to be an advisor to the incoming administration on AI. Sriram is a former venture capitalist of A16Z who in the past had vocally supported an increased number of H-1B visas and uncapped country quotas for green cards. Now this set off an immediate firestorm of criticism from the MAGA universe, who saw the Sriram appointment as a betrayal of Trump's promises to reset US immigration policy and as a corporate giveaway. Some of the discussion was just genuine racism against Indians to the US, but what was really interesting was to actually see the conflict begin from grassroots day one supporters versus many newly arrived technology sector Trump supporters who are at direct odds. Many of these people of Trump supported Trump from the tech sector were shocked that the movement they aligned themselves with, including other venture capitalists and others engaged in these big fights online, were trying to justify the H-1B visa. But the ultimate tech-aligned right-wing figure that weighed in with Elon Musk tweets this quote: "The reason I am in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possess." So why the emotion there from Elon Musk and others? Obviously, from tech entrepreneurs who supported Donald Trump. The truth, beyond any personal interest, is that H-1B visa is what the entire US technology industry runs on. And the dirty truth is that it exploits both the workers themselves and the US workers who they are competing against. So let's define some terms. What the hell is the H-1B visa? H-1B visa is basically a supposedly high-skilled guest worker program, otherwise known as a specialty occupation visa, created by the United States Congress in 1990. The justification for the visa, which has an annual cap of $85,000 per year, is that high-skilled industries like technology and engineering, that there's not enough available talent in the United States. Thus, the H-1B allows the so-called best and the brightest of the world to come to the United States to work for a specific company in a specific role for 3 to 6 years before they become eligible for a green card. In theory, it's very easy to see how this visa category was created, but in practice, it has become very controversial for the major reliance that the US technology industry has on it. H-1B visa holders are not allowed to easily switch jobs without risking their immigration status, effectively chaining them to the original sponsor for the visa, and systematic study has now shown us.
Wait, I have a counterpoint to Jimmy. He's in the chat. I don't know if you see it. He says a lot of business owners, of course, took Elon's side because workers from there will do the same jobs, maybe 90% as good or better for half the salary, leading U.S. citizens to fend for the scraps. That's actually false. I used to work in consulting, and one of our primary competitors, they were also our greatest source of leads. Our competitor was a company called Cognizant. They are a IT, solution services type of consulting firm where they go into Fortune 500 companies, and they're basically, I call them like ass and seat people, where they go in and like they go and build stuff. I have had to go and rebuild several of their systems where I couldn't even use the work that they had. It just didn't work. A lot of the projects would go over, they would be over budget, and they wouldn't actually meet the requirements that were specified. The last one, this is before I left consulting, in that particular space, was at a company called Direct Energy. I built their pricing engine. Why did I build their pricing engine? Well, because 2 years ahead, like 2 years before then, they were building a pricing engine, Cognizant. It did not meet the needs of the business. And they had to go and spend even more money paying Americans to come in and fix the mess. A lot of times these people are incompetent. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying all of them. But I am saying a lot of them are. And yes, they will come in and do the job for half the price, but I don't think it's 90% as good or any. I don't think it's that. If it were, why are we seeing shitification everywhere? Just think about all of the services that you use. Well, I guess you don't know. You're too young. All the things that you use were better 10 and 15 years ago. They've gotten worse.
Are you saying H-1Bs are making our output worse?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that how come our products haven't gotten better?
Or are you saying they're equal?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if they were so good, how come they haven't built their country up the way our country is? If they are indeed superior, why is it that our country and our culture is the one that reigns supreme, and everyone else in the world looks at America as the leader and not the other way around? How many Americans do you see trying to leave and go to these other countries? Where are you trying to move to, Ellie? What country are you trying to move to? Laughing. Laughter. Everyone's trying to come here. So that should tell you something. So have you used some of the products that they built? I know here's a product. There was a famous company known as Land Rover back in the day, famous British company. They make Range Rovers, all kinds of things. They were bought by another company, the better engineers, I suppose. Granted, the guy who bought it, he was an Anglophile. Like, he loved English stuff. He loved British stuff. I think he had best intent, but I think he took a more hands-off management role later on. When you look at a Range Rover today, what is the number one thing people say about Range Rover and what you should do when thinking about purchasing it? Is don't buy it, lease it. What's the one thing that Land Rovers and Range Rovers are known for? Being in the shop all the time, breaking down. By the way, Jaguar is also part of that group too, just FYI. They're also trash. What apps do you use that were not built here? Other than TikTok? I'll wait. I'm gonna read some comments while you think about it. Indians were under fire because they come in the most and there's a lot of racism. I think that Indians are under fire because they are known to have cheated the H-1B system. There are cottage industries that exist in the Middle East as well as in India and Pakistan that exist entirely to get those people to here. They have fake degrees, and I know about fake degrees. That was one of the things that spurred the creation of my company in the past. I don't think I've ever really talked about this much, but I used to, I was trying to hire a team of engineers when I was living in the Middle East. And one of the things that I had to deal with is, it's not like America. People degree, you can easily get a fake degree. I didn't know that was a thing. Things that you take for granted here, you can't take for granted worldwide. I did not know that was a thing. And you gotta be mindful of that. There's also this thing where somebody will interview well, they'll come in and be completely incompetent, not know how to do anything. And what I found out later in life is that sometimes, they'll get the job and then somebody who works there, a friend of theirs, they'll try to train them up. So they'll, takes them like 6 months or so, try to train them up because that's how long you normally get on like a probation when you join a new company. The work ethic is just vastly different as well. They'll do 9-6 where Americans like work balance. I don't agree, mainly because I think I know a little bit more about this than you do. What's the productivity of China? They work more hours, but what is their productivity? It's 2.5 times less than ours. So if they are working 60 hours a week and producing 2.5 times less stuff than we are, what does that say? And that's what I learned when I was abroad, is that a lot of countries are just not as productive. And you know what? I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I think that's what contributes to their happiness. It's that they are not consumed with growth at all costs. But here in America, like I noticed when I left, it's like everyone is always on. There's not really you're really off, right? Like we're always connected to our devices. Chances are you're looking at emails and Slack messages and all that kind of stuff throughout the day, the night, and all that kind of stuff. We work a lot more than a lot of people on the earth, right? Like we work a lot more. And yes, we have stuff to show for it, but maybe it's not the greatest, right? Like this is where it's helpful to think about alternatives, right? We don't always need to have money, but that's what we prioritize here. It works, I guess. I'll say my personal experience in Discord, Jaguar rebrand. Yes, the consulting agencies are definitely taking advantage. And here, I want to, before I move on from this China thing, let me pull that up if I can. China productivity. In fact, I have a video that I was going to go over. China right now is their economy is crashing. I don't know what the hell you're talking. Like, are you paying attention to what's going on? Their economy is currently not doing well. Now they report their numbers, but I mean, if you trust the CCP's numbers, then maybe you don't know much about the CCP. What do you know about the CCP? Can you talk about that?
Me?
Yeah, I mean, like, are you allowed to talk about that? Will they come and attack you?
I don't know anything about what's happening in China.
Well, I know you know about China and some relations. That's what I'm getting at. It's like, I don't know if you can talk about that kind of stuff. Let's see here.
Yeah, I don't really know anything.
You don't know what they're doing with... Well, technically, wait, I'm curious. Are you T or C? Do you identify as T or C? Don't say the word. Might get the stream banned.
What? The island.
Okay, so then So then you do know something about that because they don't see it as island. They see it as sea. And yeah, they're contemplating doing some stuff.
Well, they've been doing that for decades.
Yeah, I'm aware. There's a lot of stuff that they've that they've been doing. Jimmy caught on.
My parents have been worried about it since they were kids that they're not even worried about it anymore.
I wasn't worried about it until gosh, do you know the CCP celebrated their centennial a couple of years ago? You know that?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, he gave a speech that talked about some things, and one of the things he reiterated was a reunification, which is interesting to me because as far as I know, the CCP has never ruled over that place. I don't even think the Qing dynasty, which came before them in the KMT, I don't even think they had an actual claim to that island. So it's a little strange to me. But anyway, they have a defense agreement with us. So that's the reason why I care, is because if something happens, then, well, America gets involved. So of course I care because I'm American.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the many reasons to be concerned. For me, at least.
Jimmy said he wasn't worried about it until we started moving chip making to the States. I don't know if we're ever going to really get that back. Like real talk. It seems it's a pipe dream in my opinion. But here you go. Here is their productivity here. Right here. Now I wish that I can compare. Oh, I can. It's just I can't compare easily. We're gonna have to remember numbers.
Get ChatGPT to do it.
I don't trust ChatGPT.
Favorite tool.
I know. All right, chat. Go look in ChatGPT. You could do that. You could just support that. Go look in ChatGPT.
No, let's do it together.
Oh, I hate ChatGPT.
I can't share my screen.
All right, you share your screen because my computer is actually no.
Wait.
I'll share.
No. Yeah, it's too complicated.
It's not that complicated. You literally just press share.
And it would show up on your stream?
Yeah. Anything that shows up on my screen is on the screen. All right. What? See, this is why. Here's the problem. I don't know the data that they were trained on, that this thing is trained on. It could be bullshit.
But you give it your data that you wanted to manipulate.
I don't know.
So, like, give them this, like, table and whatever other sources.
Let's just do this for now. Let's see what happens. Well, we will never know. Data is not available. But their GDP is 17.79 trillion compared to our 27.72 trillion. Now, before that, you may be like, oh, that's not too far. It's 10 trillion apart. Here's the difference. Their population is 5 times ours, or at least they claim it is. I don't think their population is above 1 billion, to be honest. But even if it's not, that's still 3.5 to 4 times larger than ours. So with a population 4 times larger than ours, why is their GDP less than ours?
Isn't it a known fact that they have, well, it says it has 1.4 billion as of 2023.
I think that's a lie. I don't think that's true. I don't trust their numbers. So that's why it's like, anything with them, like, I don't really trust. I'm more looking at like information by proxy. Like, there are certain things that you can infer based off of certain things that are going on in their economy. Like, you can look at the number of lights that are on at night on satellites to get an understanding of certain things. I don't trust any of their numbers. But even if we use the numbers that they're reporting, their GDP is $10 trillion less than ours, yet they have 4 times the people. How productive is that? That's not very productive. Let's go to GDP per capita. $12,000 compared to our 82,000. And of course we can't do it. There's not much else we can do because there's not enough. Hold on, we got
How much of it is it due to the system or the productivity of the individuals?
I think a lot of it is due to both. There is, and this is where we get into culture, and you know, I can let the Asian guy say it. He was about to talk about it. I don't disagree, from what I know and understand about it, and I'm not just looking in. I'm closer to the culture than I may lead you to believe. I understand a little bit of certain things. The focus is on memorization, like and just being drilled, and it's not. There's no creativity. Or there's very little relative to what we have here in America. And this is one thing that I struggled with when I was abroad, because, this is what I really understood what being an American is. It's that you believe that you can do whatever you put your mind to, right? Like you have an idea, whatever, and you're willing to go out, take risk, fail. And as a result, you learn more stuff and you have like more creativity, right? You can innovate more. That doesn't happen abroad. In fact, I would go so far as to say that the only reason that China has become China is because America shipped off all of our production capability to China, and all of our investor dollars went to China. And then they got to steal some of our intellectual property because, technology transfers, and also they still do it, espionage, they still do that. And yes, they've had this miracle, but all of that miracle is tied up in their real estate. 40% of the growth is in their real estate. Their real estate market is trash. First of all, who's trying to buy a house in China? Well, first, no one other than Chinese people, because those are the only people who can. Also, because of their hukou system, if you live in a certain area, you can't just go and purchase a house somewhere. So they have all this real estate where, their entire population has, speculated to hell with these properties, and now you have apartments in China going for more money than a house here in America, in San Francisco. And I'm just curious, which city would you rather live in? San Francisco or Shanghai? Shanghai's not bad. Some parts of it, but hold on. We have some comments. We have Ghost City, Go Bird. Yeah. They have tons of ghost cities. China built enough houses to house their entire population, assuming that it's 1.5 billion like they claim. It's not, but assuming that it's 1.5 billion, they built 3 billion housing units. Just think about that. They built 3 billion housing units, yet they have a real estate market that's somehow higher than ours, where we actually have scarcity. We have people, we don't have enough houses for our people, and our houses are still cheaper. How does that work? How much of that US GDP is debt? GDP, I don't think that's debt. Now our debt is high, but I don't think GDP is a function of, I don't think that is a function of GDP, but school me if that's the case. Cram schools go burr, copy trend, setting trend. Isn't it funny how Tesla made the jump to China and welcomed them then after they got good at making EVs and started bashing Tesla? I don't know. I don't think Tesla is the reason why China became very good at making EVs. I think it's because of General Motors. General Motors were ahead of their time in the late 90s and early 2000s. They were leading in the electric space. Like I want to say they created the first electric vehicle, like actual electric vehicle here that people can buy, and I think they created it. The skateboard architecture that Tesla uses, that was created by GM. I know a lot of people think Tesla, but I think the guy who AC propulsion, I think he was former GM. Correct, go research. I don't know. My computer's too slow to go figure that out. But I'm gonna say that misinformation for now, and it may become fact when you go look it up. But confirm it in general if you do. Let's see here. Also, you can't own property in China. You lease it for 99 years. Yeah, that's true. But can you own property in America? Like, let's be fair. Do you own property in America? I don't know. I don't think we do. All right. Let's see. What else are we trying to see here? There was something else. How much of that GDP is? All right. Let's see. How much of USA GDP is that? We'll just put it in here. And you can trust this. I don't trust shit that ChatGPT tells me. So
Wait, so do you know what's going to happen with H-1Bs under Trump?
I think he says that he wants to allow more of them here. Initially, he was against it. You know, he was anti-immigration. He was xenophobic. He was racist. He was all those things. So I guess now, like, he'll, you know, he's going to say, all right, well, you can find out that I'm not those things. And we can suffer the consequences. Because, I mean, that's the issue. And let's finish the video so that we can get more of his points. I think it's because he accepted help from these folks, and, you know, he has to, it's politics, right? Like, he has to give them something.
That the H-1B visa holders depressed wages for U.S. citizens because they are willing to work for less for the benefit of being able to emigrate to the United States. Now, those who defend the program say we're only talking about 100,000 or so visas a year here. These people fill jobs that Americans, according to them, are not qualified to do. So let's actually dig into the numbers and just take a look at this. Norman Matloff, who has weighed in with a definitive piece here, and so I will quote him from length from Compact Magazine. H-1B advocates like to point out that 85,000-year visas is only a small fraction of overall STEM employment. But that is misleading. Assuming a 6-year stay, the nominal time limit, at any given time, there would be 500,000 visa holders in the country. More importantly, the impact is cumulative. The H-1B worker who transitions to green cards becomes a permanent fixture in the labor market, especially tech-heavy regions. In 1990, 30% of Silicon Valley engineers were foreign-born. By 2014, that figure had jumped to 74%. So let's think about that. We're talking here about a sector of our economy, which is roughly 20% of US GDP and almost entirely responsible for the growth of all of our stock indices. And the vast majority of these engineers are not from here. That's not bad per se, but it does raise a question. Why? Who's benefiting from this? Here again, basic labor law, supply and demand come into play. If you run a business like we do here, what's the #1 pain in the ass? Staff turnover. So what do you do when you want to prevent staff turnover? How do you prevent that person, if you employ a US citizen, from leaving? You pay them more and you try to have good working conditions. How does that work with an H-1B? Actually, you can pay them less and they can't leave. That's a good trade. Easy way to juice the stock price, you reduce employee compensation, you get more riches for yourself, and you don't have to deal with one of the biggest threats to any business, talent leaving. Now, the H-1B visa holder themselves might be miserable in the job, but he or she has other things on their mind, like...
Agree or disagree? I can't hear you, you're muted. Ah, shit.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with the facts, but, like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
You're like, I guess you hadn't thought of it that way. I mean, that's why it, you know, that's why I'm like, it does affect you. It affects me too.
Like, oh, listen, I've only got a few more years where I have to take this, then I can get a green card. Once that happens, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. So you sit there and you take it. The person who loses out here is the applicant who is a native-born US citizen because of their rights can leave whenever they want. Furthermore, there is no implied compensation like there is for the H-1B visa holder. The citizen already lives in America. The H-1B visa holder can accept less because a big part of the benefit is getting to stay. Now here again, Matloff weighs in by noting a University of California, Berkeley study that shows that high...
Here, I'll pause it. I don't just like people telling me shit. I want to read. When it comes to
this guy though.
Who guy? Which guy?
This guy that's talking.
Oh, Sager.
Wait, so we can't outsource labor. Like we can't get stuff from other countries, but we can get their people to come here and do it.
We can outsource labor. In fact, we do. We did offshoring, which was moving our production.
No, but Trump wants to move all like production to the States.
The problem with what he wants is that it doesn't matter what he wants because we have freedom in our country. So if you own a business, the state should not have any say or rights in who you can hire for your business. So that's part of the other side. Like you should be able to do whatever you want, you know, in order to make your business viable. Now, that being said, there should be limits, right? So it's like, you know, if you want to hire all foreign workers, well, you're going to have to pay them a lot of money, right? There are going to have to be some restrictions on what you can do with these workers and how you can treat the American workers and all that kind of stuff. But in general, we don't want to have the government having a hand in who we hire. right? Because think about it, right? Like maybe we should just hire the best person for the job. Now, that being said, in this case, I think that certain folks are trying to conflate the best person for the job with whatever's cheapest. So the people who we're bringing over, I don't think that they are necessarily the best people for the job, because if they were, they wouldn't be getting the H-1B visa. They would get the other visa for people who actually are competent and who know what the hell they're doing, and who are like, you know, the cream of the cream of the crop. That's O1.
Oh,
Here, let me.
I haven't heard that one as much.
O1 visa. So this is for extraordinary ability in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics, or is demonstrated
How many
at
of
record.
these are given out?
I don't know, but if tech companies, you know, if they believe the BS, you know, these owners, if they believe what they were saying, why aren't they going for these? Because technically, only 80,000 visas for H-1B can be granted a year. Now, there is something I shared in the Discord that showed some dude did some data analysis, and he showed that it's been over. Like they do 800,000 a year now, and the limit is supposed to be 80,000, and they've been doing this for years now. I'm looking through the Discord. By the way, if anybody in the Discord happens to know or remember that post, can you like ping it somehow? I'm scrolling now. It's gonna take me a while to find it. It's gonna take me a while. I've been dumping a lot of stuff in here. Yeah. All right, I can't find it. I'll try to find it another time. I'll share it with you later, Ellie, if you like.
Yeah. Okay. I can't stay too much longer, but
okay.
It's fascinating.
And here is another visa, J1 visa. So I learned a few things about some of the visas when I was dealing with that stuff in the past. And yeah, it's interesting how it's easy for certain groups of people to get a visa, while it's very hard for others to get a visa. I was trying to go through a visa process with someone who went to school here, graduated bachelor's degree here, graduated graduate school here, master's degree, had job experience, and it was also like, you know, had someone who's trying to get her, and nah, didn't happen, couldn't happen. Meanwhile, we have, I don't even know, I can't even think of a Guatemalan, and we have whoever they are just walking across the border and just getting free shit. I'm just like, how is that fair? These aren't the best people we're letting in. Like, the best people are the ones who go to our universities, graduate, and then they try to get a job here and they can't, and then they're forced to go back home. I think those are the best people, because they've shown that, A, they're willing to assimilate, like, you know, they went through our school system, but also they can be productive. Like, you graduated from a university here. That's kind of impressive. But, you know, we send them back home. Anyway. Given that I know you gotta go, we'll go ahead and you know, get it shut down for you. I'll stick around for the rest of you. We got about 8 folks here still. And
last question before I leave. How are, like, say the H-1Bs continue to increase, what is Will gonna do?
I don't think I've ever been affected by, and even if I have, I don't feel like I've been affected by the H-1B situation. Yes, I know that I have to compete against these same people, and they do drive down wages and all that kind of stuff. But I'm fine with coming. Like, okay, I'm better than most of them anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm just being real. Like,
what do you advise for, like, the average American?
Well, you're supposed to be able to vote for politicians who represent you and look out for your best interests. That's what I would say, is vote for the people who are going to, you know, ensure that we don't allow folks from other places to come in and drive down our wages and come in and ruin our institutions. I've been talking shit about Google for a long time, and it's not lost on me that Google is ran by a foreigner. That fact is not lost on me. It's also not lost on me that Microsoft, which has also become a shit fest, is also ran by, I mean, maybe he is American, I don't know. Maybe he's I don't know. But you know, it's kind of, it's not lost on me that my old director, who's now a VP at GitHub, is also one of them. It's not lost on me. And you know, some of the shit that went down with me and her, that's just not lost on me. So I don't know what regular people can do. Don't spend money. Try to buy assets. Stay out of cash, because the dollar has lost most of its purchasing power. I think over 90% of its purchasing power in the past 30 years. I'm sorry, not 30 years, 50 years. I'm sorry, 50 years.
Or you could advise them to keep following you for advice on how to stay on top.
I'm not on top. Elon is.
Yeah, you are.
Elon is the guy who's worth $500 billion. It ain't me. I don't own Apple, which is, you know, like, I don't own any of these things. I'm not at the top. It's Klaus Schwab who's at the top. His WEF. You'll own nothing and be happy. He's at the top. But we do need, I don't know, we need more people to actually start thinking about these things and understanding that, you know, if you choose not to care, well, you will pay the consequences in the future. When you're trying to get your job and you're trying to figure out how come you can't make ends meet, well, by then people won't care. So it's like you start caring now, or, you know, devolve into some of the places where I've come from, where I'm just like, yeah, I would never go there again, even if you paid me.
Well, thank you very much for enlightening us.
Mm-hmm. So I suppose I will see you again in the future.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, let me stop my screen
Thanks,
share. All right, I'll see you later. Ellie's heading out, so y'all can say bye. She'll be back at some point in the future.
Okay.
All right, peace. All right, so let's go on. I don't know, the probably both on this last term, it has to be money. Honestly, I think legacy is more important for him. Real talk. I think after a certain point, it's legacy. He's old enough to where it's probably legacy. He's talking about buying Greenland. I hope he does. Like, that would be dope. I think that would do a lot to reinvigorate, you know, the nation. I think that can be a spark. It could be something that we need. So if we can purchase that, that would be dope. Strategically, it's also a great buy. Here, let's just see where it is, so we can understand why I'm saying strategically it's a great buy. Wait, huh? Wait. Okay, I guess I have to use the mouse wheel to zoom. All right, so if we look up here, here's Greenland, right? It's a huge landmass. All of this shit. Now, here's what makes it great. Yes, technically, America is a Arctic nation, technically, because of Australia, but it's not connected to the mainland. So there's that issue. If we had Greenland, even though it's not connected to the mainland, it's a lot of land here, and it's direct. Oh man, okay, shit. I want to do this as in Google Earth. I want a sphere. I don't want a flat map. Let me turn up my music a little bit. All right, get started. Hey, why is it? Oh, I didn't want to explore Earth. Here we are. Okay, here's Greenland up here. Here's why this is important. This ocean right here is called the Arctic Ocean. We are much closer to certain places than you think if we are able to go through the Arctic Ocean, which is mostly frozen. Well, it used to be frozen all the time. Now not so much. But we can get all of our goods from America to Asia to Europe in much less time, because, as you know, because the Earth is a sphere, a straight line, it looks like an arc, right? So the fastest way to get from a place like New York to United Kingdom is not this right here. It's not, I can't draw a line on here, unfortunately. Oh, maybe I can. Can I do that? Tools, is there annotation? Nah, okay, I can't. Well, just imagine a straight line. It's the fastest pass is not a straight line. What they said to you in school is a lie. It's not a lie. It's actually true. On a flat plane. The Earth is not a flat plane. So the quickest route from New York to London is actually this, to fly up this way and come back down, in air quotes. That's the fastest way. So same with shipping, right? Like, if we can just go straight through here, well, now all of a sudden we can get our goods to the other side of Earth, because this right here is the other side of Earth. Think about it, right? Here's America. Here's the other side of Earth. Now, if you do the long way to get over there, which is to go this way, it's a lot. You see, it's much further to get to the other side of Earth. much further. Now, the reason why the North Pole, the Arctic Ocean, is such a big deal is because, well, there's this country right here. Do y'all know which country this is? It's a very large country. It's a very large country. All of this is Russia. So there's also that strategic part, right? Where it's like, you know, right now they have a big advantage. They have their whole coast and they can easily get to us using their Navy. We can't necessarily do the same because our Navy is mostly Pacific, Atlantic, you know, in the oceans down here. We don't really have cold water capabilities like the Russians. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Like it's freaking tundra, Arctic tundra. It's just cold. Anyway. I think I'm gonna have to take Roscoe out soon. But before I do, yeah, he's coming over here bothering me. I just took him out too. Here is Paris. Oh, it's too loud. Anyway, so this probably I'm gonna probably leave with this because I gotta take Roscoe out. He's bothering me now. This is what I fear is going to happen to America. This is my fear. People who come here who don't share our culture and our values and who think that they can bring their culture and their values with them and that we have to accept them as they are, I have an issue with that. If you come to my country, you should come and assimilate. You should come and learn our language. You should learn our culture and adapt to our culture. You know, so if you're one of these people that believes a certain kind of way, well, stay your ass where you at if you believe that and you don't want to give that up. If you come over here, then yeah, like if you're someone who believes that no, we're not all equal, just stay where you're at. We don't want you, we don't need you. And I mean we don't need you. Like, I mean, one is irrelevant. We really don't need you. Like, look at our GDP. We're good. We're very good. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night because my dog is bothering me. So yeah, if y'all enjoyed this stream, consider subscribing, giving it a thumbs up. That helps a lot. No, for real. You can follow me on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram. I have links on my channel. So if you go to About Me, you can go to my link tree. You can follow me on all the other places. Until then, I'm out. Y'all have a good night. Peace.